entrepreneurial community. We have been here for 10 plus years. We have had over 500 entrepreneur presenters. We have had educational topics like finance, future frame, networking. We've also had some made it sessions where folks have come back who have sold or made over $1 million with their business, and they share their stories with you. All right, and today you're in for a treat, and I know a few of you made the special trip here so you could hear Mr. Derek Walker speak. So Derek is going to take us through marketing. He is our Columbia guru with regards to marketing, and he's going to share some insights for you, especially if you're a new business. He's going to walk you through the things that you need to know.
Before I get started, I'm going to hang on this because I think this is such a lovely idea that I'm going to have the creator of this series come and explain what we're doing.
Good morning.
Anthony Ned.
Good morning, everyone. A Dollar in a Dream started with sitting in the room and different networking events and watching people struggle. The same struggle over and over and over and over and over again. The definition of insanity, doing the same thing and expecting a different outcome. All right, what are we doing and why are we doing it? Why don't we try it a different way? So a dollar in a dream is just that. I have a dollar and a dream. Help me start a business. Our first series last week was on business plan. What is a business plan, the parts of it, the formal business plan, or the plan you put on paper just to get started. Today we're going to be doing marketing, and without further ado, the guru of marketing himself.
Stop using that four-letter word. Hi, I'm Derek, not Walker, Mr. Walker, Derek, and we're going to talk about marketing. Now, this isn't, I built this for people based on a dollar and a dream. So it's going to be real light. And let me ask a couple of you. How many of you, I want hands raised, know exactly what's unique about your business? How many of you know, now, the word everyone cannot be the answer. How many of you know who your target audience is? Demographics? See, there's some old folks that, old hands on that table in the middle. Don't raise your hand no more. They're experts. But most of us still don't have a clear picture of who we are talking to and what we're talking about. Breathe for me. Breathe in deep. Hold it. Let it out. Push out as much air as you can now. Hold it again. Breathe. Breathe in deep. Hold it. Repeat until you feel alive. The reason I use this exercise is because, and me and Shandy were talking about our cancer journey. Before I got into the radiation machine, the tech would say, breathe deep for me. I'm like, what? Breathe deep, I need you to relax. All that oxygen when you breathe deep, we normally don't breathe deep, we breathe shallow is how she explained it to me. We don't breathe as deep as our lung capacity can hold. So now when you take the time and you breathe in deep, what you're doing is you're bringing more oxygen in. And that oxygen feeds your blood, and your blood, the more blood that's oxygenated, you can relax. We don't relax and take time to think. When we stop to think about breathing, we actually clear the mind. If all you have is a dollar and a dream, I need you to stop and think about marketing. Thinking is free, costs you nothing. Marketing is the activity or business of promoting and selling a product or service, including marketing, research, and advertising. You see that word, research? That's where you need to stop and think. A lot of people go into business because they're going to do some stuff, and they hadn't thought about all of the elements of marketing. Now, promotions, what I do, advertising, is one of them, but it isn't all of it. Marketing is made up of the 4 P's: product, price, place, promotion. Your product. You need to define what your product is how special, what makes it special in a crowded market, and why anyone should care. We don't think about this because we love what we're gonna put out to the world. You know, I'm an ad guy. I'm gonna make ads because I'm a great copywriter and I'm really strategic, and I hadn't thought about why my clients need. My clients are fighting for their survival. Price, dear God. Let me hang on price for a second. Price either tells me that you have quality and value, or you're cheap and easy. You need to find that perfect balance where the value of what makes you special, your product, is reflected in the price. Because the marketplace will tell you. Anybody in here trust a jeweler that sells a $10 diamond? See, we understand the value of a diamond, and we know that $10 is too cheap. Or a luxury car for a luxury car for $14,000. A luxury car for $14,000 is a flaming Pinto, but anyway. So you need to think about what makes your product special or service, and then price it to reflect the value that it brings to people. Notice I ain't talked about that last P yet. Place. Where does your product live? If you're a brick and mortar store, it lives in a store. But if your service, it lives in your office, if it lives online, it lives on social media, all of those things. You need to figure out where your product exists. Finally, promotion. That's the advertising and marketing, that's the advertising and public relations stuff. That's screaming your message to everybody. But you don't get here until you get to those 3 steps. So what I need you to do if you have $1 and a dream is slow down, breathe, and think. Now, we've had these 4 Ps since the late 50s, maybe early 60s. Oops, I lied. There are 3 more Ps. People. Anybody in here ever had bad customer service and never went back?
Yes.
Your people will ruin your business before you ever get started. If I don't get good customer service, I don't go back. Now, I know folks who will. I'm not one of them. I work too hard for the few pennies I make for me to be in there and you take me for granted. And I think there are a lot more people like me. If your people aren't, they don't have to be excited, but they have to be courteous and respectful, knowledgeable. There's nothing worse than going into Lowe's or Home Depot or Best Buy, and dear God, the person in the TV section at Best Buy has no idea what the TV does. That's a training issue. So before you put your people out there, train them. You know, have a standard for what your customer service is going to look like. I just got off the phone with USAA Insurance, where I'm dealing with some stuff with my dad's estate. And I am shocked at the level of, I've never got the recorded message. I've never been sent overseas. The people talking to me and read the file and they start off by, before we get started, Mr. Walker, let me share my condolences with you. How do you think that makes me feel when, I don't want to be doing this in the first place, y'all. But here's an insurance company that actually has trained their people for empathy and given them the freedom. It's not a script. You can tell when somebody's reading off a script on those lines. And the whole conversation, she's like, don't worry about it. We got this. I know you're not hitting you're not going to be thinking about all of this. She was the most coaching. I want to say caring, because we may not believe that. But she walked me through this and I didn't feel like a big wallet. I felt like a human being. How you train your people are your best advertising, they're your best promotion. If you treat your employees bad, guess who they're going to tell? They're going to tell friends and family. So you don't get any of them as customers. And I stay on this for a while. Processes. If the process impedes my customer journey, and I'm just going to say this, then the process is a problem. If before I can buy something, I have to give you my phone number, my email address, my blood type, my mama's maiden name, my family history, you're trying to gather information, and I understand you want it. I just want to buy a pair of tube socks. For the love of God, people sell me the damn socks without the process. But we put processes in place. Even, how do you handle returns? You know, there's a way to tell people no without making them feel like they're a thief. And good training has a process that is almost seamless. I shouldn't see your process. Sorry about that. I hit the microphone. I shouldn't see or feel your process. I should see and feel your customer service. So processes are bad. Processes can be bad. I've worked with McDonald's. There's a blue book on everything. Physical evidence. This one hit me because I'm all in the old school of the first 4 C's, but it's something I do all the time. If your brick and mortar is dirty, unattractive, I don't go back. Anybody in here? Ever go into a dirty restaurant and go, I can't eat here? You know, you walk into a restaurant and the first thing you do is your feet stick to the floor. Yeah, and I'm like, I'm out, peace. Because I don't know, or Lord, there's some department stores, there's some stores, I'm bougie. You might not be able to tell, I'm bougie. So I'm more a Target shopper. I walk into Walmart and my senses are just overwhelmed. I mean, the layout of the store is so crowded. Whereas Target, I can walk in and there's space and it breathes. And I'm going, why can't you be like Target, but then you're Walmart? So I understand, but I also understand now why I don't go to Walmart and I go to Target, because I'm having physical evidence. What's your website like? Dear God, if I have to go through multiple layers of answering questions to get to you as a service provider, and I'm talking about just a consultant, whatever you are, but before I can talk to anybody, fill out this form. No, because you have my information. You hadn't told me anything, but you want to force me to fill out the information. How many people will you lose on your website like that? Physical evidence. When you decide that you got $1 in a dream and you want to do business, your social media needs to be separate from your business unless you are the business. All your politics and your religion and everything else, let me say this politely. I want to do business with you. The more I know about you, probably the less I want to do business with you. We may not agree all the time. Keep them separate. And there's folks that are going to disagree with this. But I just think about the backlash that Chick-fil-A got when people started looking into how they feel about certain things. Now, they recovered from it because they made a mighty good chicken sandwich. But they're Chick-fil-A. Some of us never get that second chance. And if you want to push that issue, push that issue. There are some businesses in Columbia that never get much black businesses. I'm going to use them as an example. There's some barbecue places I will never grace. They have made it known how they feel about me and mine. And no amount of fixing to that, you can't say the right words to get me back after you told me what you think of me. So I need you to think about the physical evidence. You want to make a statement. Well, make a statement, but understand why some people don't come to you. You want to draw that line in the sand? Draw that line in the sand and be proud. Hold on to it. But understand you exclude a group of people who could do business with you. And if you're that rich, bless your heart. If you got people knocking down your door and banging and lining up for your business, have at it. But most of us ain't got that. And I had to go Southern on you there. We ain't. So let's be totally honest. That's it. But your marketing, before you do anything else, and even if this room is filled with entrepreneurs, put some serious thought into the P's. And I can put dollars to donut. There are 3 or 4 of you I know, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5, who have put some serious thought into the P's. But I've listened to you. I know you. You hadn't thought about all these P's. So before you do anything, and it's hard because we're entrepreneurs, we're up and running. I gotta eat too. But sometimes the best thing you can do is stop and think. Give yourself a chance to breathe. I'm not talking about weeks and months of this. I'm talking about take a day. Look at this and make sure you have it buttoned down. Breathe for me. Breathe in deep. Hold it. Let it out. Push out as much air as you can now. Hold it again. Breathe. Breathe in deep. Hold it. Repeat until you feel alive. Thank you for your time. I'm Derek. Out.